welcome everyone, and welcome Tadpoles. Rumor has it you guys are always late. Good evening, everybody. For those of you that don't know me, I'm Marky and Fetishak, president of Walking Mountains, and this is really a special occasion. It's one of my favorite evenings of the year. No fundraising, no pressure, just pure celebration and joy for these young people's accomplishments. I want to welcome all of the friends, family, staff, and supporters of Walking Mountains that are here. And I do want to thank those individuals that make this program possible. Some of you saw Craig Foley, who was here earlier this evening, and Craig supports the Foley Graduate Fellowship. Ben and Pam Peternell support the cost of the graduate credits at UNC through the endowment that they've started in the Professional Development Fund. I'd like to thank the Frechette Family Foundation for supporting the Pete and Pat Frechette Educator Community Housing. Kind of a cool place to live, right? And the generosity of these individuals and families has transformed our ability to expand the Foley Graduate Fellowship and provide more programs to our local schools and students. I would also like to thank our graduate faculty and advisors, Chris Cohen, Dustin Hall, Laura Carlson, Annie Henderson, and Lydia Delahanty. Thanks so much for all of your hard work in making the program possible. I guess Lydia's in Alaska, couldn't be here tonight. And special thanks to our Youth and Graduate Programs Director, Chris Cohen. This is Chris's first year in her expanded role, and I know how hard she's been working in order to make it a successful experience for the fellows and the many students that they teach. Thank you, Chris. And thanks for joining us, Jamie, this evening, our previous graduate programs director, and her husband, Stuart. And finally, I'd like to thank our hardworking Foley graduate fellows and the reason that we're all here. Savannah, Taylor, Ania, and David. Good job. Awesome. You've worked hard to achieve this milestone, and more importantly, you really do embody the mission of Walking Mountains. The heart of Walking Mountains' work is with children to awaken wonder and inspire the next generation, and I can't think of more meaningful and important work, and certainly our mission, as we know, is more important than ever today. I know firsthand the impact that Walking Mountains programs and that all of you have on our local students. I hear about it all the time, literally, from teachers, parents, grandparents, community members, and I have daughters who did our programs growing up, and I know what an impact it had on them. I also know from personal observations of the four of you, the care and the concern, the intention and the pride you've put into your work with all of your students. Congratulations for a job incredibly well done, and thank you for so beautifully fulfilling Walking Mountains' mission. And I have to say that when I come to work in the summer and I see you and I see children on campus, it literally makes my day. So thank you for always making my day. And now I would like to introduce our keynote speaker, Dr. Kim Langmaid. Kim is the founder of Walking Mountains and the founder of this graduate program. She's a longtime board member of Walking Mountains and the program chair and professor of sustainability at Colorado Mountain College in Edwards, and also a dear friend. Thank you, Kim.
Thank you, Markian. So heartfelt. Well, greetings, everyone. This is an amazing evening for this celebration, something I've been looking forward to for a while, as I'm sure you have too. So let's take a moment to acknowledge this beautiful place, the spirit of the land, all of its peoples, and the entire living world we're immersed in here tonight. We're lucky to be nestled in this Buck Creek Valley, as it's been called. And we're newcomers here. The Ute, or Nuche, as they call themselves, lived here for thousands of years, and I'm grateful for the Nuche and all those who have been stewards of this place across the millennia. This is an amazing place. We're so lucky to be here for its transformative educational work. Thank you also to the many staff, board, and donors and partners of Walking Mountains who support the Foley Graduate Fellowship, especially former board member Craig Foley, the Frechette family, who, as Markian said, was very instrumental in creating the housing, which is an incredible resource and really makes the collaborative spirit and camaraderie of the Graduate Fellowship what it is today. I also want to thank our partners at University of Northern Colorado for walking with us to create this innovative, experiential graduate program. Programs like these are very hard to come by these days, and it's not easy to sustain them, so our partnerships are truly very important. Now in its, I think, 20th year of graduate education at Walking Mountains in some form or fashion, Walking Mountains honors the work of this year's graduates, Taylor, Ania, David, and Savannah, known as Team Tadpoles, as you all have heard. As they step out into the world ahead of them, or maybe I should say hop out, and join a growing community of professional, environmental, science, and place-based education leaders. During their fellowship with Walking Mountains, the Tadpoles have given so much of themselves, their hearts, minds, and hands, as they say in holistic education. So speaking on behalf of Walking Mountains community, we are incredibly grateful for all of your hard work and gifts. Taylor, Ania, David, and Savannah. Your work here has impacted hundreds of students up and down the Eagle Valley and beyond. The team name, Tadpoles, has inspired the theme of my talk this evening. How could it not? When I heard the name Tadpoles and later spoke with Taylor, Ania, David, and Savannah about it, they referred only to tadpoles, but not frogs. I mean, to the tadpoles of frogs, but not toads. Why is that? I find this very curious. And I've wondered more and more about this. And is it due to the stigma our society places on toads because of their warts? Which, by the way, are not contagious to humans. Personally, I have a very deep fondness for boreal toads. They live in these parts. These special toads lived in the mountain wetlands all around my childhood home in Vail. I was fascinated by their transformation each summer. In early summer, the adult female frogs would lay their shiny black egg strands along the edges of the pond near my house. A short while later, the eggs would come to life as a swarm of wriggling tadpoles in the shallow water, creating a chaos of ripples on the surface of the pond. Then the tadpoles would transform again, growing tiny arms and legs while their tail was absorbed back into their bodies. Finally, midsummer, they would hop onto the land with their remarkable amphibious breathing skin. There would be hundreds of tiny black toadlets hopping in the tall grasses and sedges of the wetland. So many, it was difficult to walk around the pond without stepping on them. And later in autumn, the toads would migrate uphill from the pond into the forest to find their winter hibernation holes. And the whole remarkable life cycle would take place again the following summer. The life cycle of toads and frogs is a fascinating process for any child or adult to witness. This experience in my home place, shared with family and neighborhood friends year after year in my early and middle childhood, kindled my sense of wonder for the natural world and all of its mystery and beauty. This sense of wonder turned into a purpose and the desire to create Walking Mountains so all children growing up in the Eagle Valley could experience the wonders of the natural world with caring educators. So, inspired by the team name Tadpoles, as part of my research for tonight's talk, I went to a somewhat philosophical book to find out more about the relative significance, humans' place between frogs and toads. Has anyone here read the book, Frog and Toad Are Friends? It's quite philosophical, isn't it? Well, have any of you? Yes. Great stuff, right? Yeah. Okay, well, I went there to see if it could help me understand these differences. This book is the first in a collection of children's books about Frog and Toad and their friendship, written by Arnold Lobel in the 1970s, and one of my grandmothers loved to read Frog and Toad to me, so maybe this also spawned my special endearment for toads. The stories in the book are wonderful, about two wonderful and endearing characters. Toad, with his warts and his shy disposition and lack of motivation due to his low self-esteem, and his close and cheerful friend, Frog, who is always there to cheer up Toad, to make Toad feel better about himself and see the beauty around him. The adventures shared by Frog and Toad are heartwarming examples of friendship, caring for one another through the thick and thin, despite the differences in their appearances and personalities. The books are significant because the encounters between Frog and Toad encourage children to honor their individuality as a gift, and to appreciate nature by slowing down and enjoying the simple moments of friendship life has to offer. I have a hunch the friendship between our tadpoles here this evening is much like the friendship between Frog and Toad, honoring and learning from and supporting one another's unique talents and gifts in their teaching together during the fellowship. So sharing the lessons of Frog and Toad may have given you a guess as to the theme of my talk tonight. Is it friendship and camaraderie? No. Is it the biological life cycle of amphibians? No. But what happens when four strangers meet and work together, teaching children outdoors through all four seasons, facing surprising adversities, stretching themselves beyond what they may have thought themselves capable to create impactful new learning experiences, changing the lives of children? It's a transformation in their relationships with one another, beginning as strangers and becoming the best of colleagues and friends. So transformation is the simple theme of my talk. And this theme started as an inspiration from the metamorphosis of the transformative life cycle of frogs and toads, and has taken on a life of its own when considering the transformations that have occurred here due to the accomplishments of the tadpoles. So how have you transformed our community? And how has this shared experience transformed you? When I say community, I mean the more expansive land community, which includes the mountains, rivers, forests, wildlife, soils, and other living and non-living members of this place. The tadpoles have enlivened and transformed our community with their gifts of energy, creativity, imagination, perseverance, and dedication to the Walking Mountains educational mission, awakening a sense of wonder and inspiring environmental stewardship and sustainability in Eagle Valley's children. The ripple effects of your work will take on many forms we may never know. And as I've learned a bit about your teaching interests and action research projects, I've come to see you as offering a collective pedagogy of hope and possibility, creating the kind of outdoor experiential learning that is so needed in our times today. Taylor, with her desire to cultivate the unique gifts and talents within each student, creating active and creative learning pathways and assessment strategies to build students' sense of imagination and agency in the world. Ania, with her emphasis on empathy, encouraging emotionally responsive pedagogy that honors individuality and inclusivity and creates a deeper sense of belonging and learning in the larger living world. And Ania's approach resonates much with the hopeful and exciting discoveries in biology these days, referred to by biologist Andreas Weber as poetic ecology. a perspective that views all life, including human life, as fundamentally connected through feelings, emotions, and creative expression. Poetic ecology suggests that our relationship with the natural world is not solely based on scientific, objective understanding, but also on subjective experiences, feelings, and a sense of interconnectedness. And that these subjective dimensions are integral to the reality of all living beings and are essential for understanding ecological processes and fostering a more harmonious relationship with the natural world. Now, I know that's a lot of jargon, but it gives me great hope for how we experience ourselves on this planet. And there's David, who cultivates friendly, competitive, and creative solutions through playing games. David's approach stimulates students' imaginations and helps them see the possibilities to shape their futures. His enthusiasm for life and all its wonders is inspiring and energizing. And Savannah, a gifted facilitator who helps children experience interconnections with nature through significant moments of wonder. She invites students to explore the land as teacher, cultivating wonderment, curiosity, and imagination. I think imagination may also be a theme here. From Tadpole's collective teaching practice of hope and possibility has enriched our valley, its people, and walking mountains. Our world needs more learning experiences like these so we may transform our humanity to truly understand and experience the nature of nature, our place in the biosphere, and how our species cannot exist without the flourishing of the larger, enlivened world we are part of. And this ties into the name Walking Mountains, which I always like to remind people about. It's a playful and profound meaning that helps us consider and experience connection and transformation, a foundation for place-based education. The Mountains and Waters Sutra was written in the year 1240 by the Zen monk Dogen from his monastery in Kyoto, Japan, a place that also has mountains and valleys like those surrounding us. A sutra is like an essay. Sutra is a Sanskrit word meaning string or thread, and in this case it's a string of words with a thread through it that conveys a philosophical principle. Mountains and Waters Sutra, the inspiration for the name Walking Mountains, explores the interconnectedness of all things and the nature of reality. It presents mountains and waters as living, dynamic expressions that are constantly teaching and embodying the truth of existence, the interdependence of all beings and phenomena. Mountains and waters are not separate entities. You can hear them laughing right now. But are dynamically related to each other and all things in the universe. The mountains and waters teach us to experience a reality where everything is connected and mutually arising. Also, the Mountains and Waters Sutra suggests that enlightenment is not discovered in a distant or transcendent realm, but that we find enlightenment in the everyday world we inhabit, perhaps in those moments of wonderment, curiosity, imagination, and hope. The Mountains and Waters Sutra encourages active engagement with the world rather than passive observation. The teachings within Dogen's Mountains and Waters Sutra are not just philosophical concepts, but intended to be embodied in our everyday lives. Okay, so let's tune in. Take a moment to experience and truly embody interconnectedness with mountains and waters and all beings and the flows of life. So, I invite you to relax just a little bit and close your eyes. Settle into your seat. Listen to the water if you can. Take a deep breath. Now, let's use our imaginations to consider one of the incredible capacities of frogs and toads. A remarkable amphibious adaptation that allows frogs and toads to breathe through their moist skin. With your eyes closed, now imagine yourself walking through a calm and peaceful wetland, perhaps near a still pond or quiet mountain stream. Feel the air fresh and carrying the sweet scent of damp earth and growing plants. Imagine you hear the gentle croak of a nearby frog. And there it is. You see it, a beautiful little frog resting on a rock at the edge of the wetland. You notice the frog's skin is smooth and dark and wet. And you notice how thin and delicate its shimmering skin appears. That skin isn't just a covering around the frog's body, it's a living, breathing interface with the world. Through this skin, the frog absorbs vital oxygen directly from the water or air around it. So now, imagine your own skin does this. Imagine your skin is breathing, absorbing the air around you, a gentle exchange between you and the world across every inch of your skin, drawing in the life-giving air, the same air that flows from our forests and floats across mountains and oceans and has been exhaled and inhaled by countless living beings throughout time. Sense this vast, shared, atmospheric ocean of the biosphere flowing in and through you, connecting you to all living beings, to the very breath of our planet. Just as frogs and toads are intimately connected to their watery and airy environments through their skin, you are also connected within this planetary breath. Now you may open your eyes. The feeling of connectedness with one another and the larger flows of life is essential to our species' survival. Humanity is at a threshold, a bifurcation point, a junction along our path as a species. We have choices about how we want to show up and step across this threshold into the future. Team Tadpole's teaching practice of hope and possibility helps us. Imagine a rambunctious continent of middle school 7th graders with no guardrails. The whole continent. Some say that contemporary Western society is stuck in a developmental phase of collective adolescence, and that the way to grow our society up is through connecting more deeply with the natural world, and also experiencing rituals along our life journeys that help us transform into a more mature, caring, empathic, and creative phase of our collective humanity. This graduation ceremony is a ritual that marks another step toward the threshold into a more beautiful future, honoring and celebrating the hard work and learning of Taylor, Ania, David, and Savannah. We don't know how these precious tadpoles will continue their metamorphoses through life as they bring their special gifts and talents into the future, but I imagine they will continue to make great impacts toward creating a more compassionate and hopeful world filled with possibilities for transformation, making lasting impressions on every person they teach and touch. One of the educators who made an impression on me in my early career was Joanna Macy. She was instrumental in my own development nearly 30 years ago as I finished my master's degree on place-based education at Teton Science Schools and Prescott College. Joanna passed away a couple of weeks ago at the age of 96, and I want to share a few relevant things from her work as we send our 4 graduate fellows into their next adventures. Joanna Macy is known for what she called the work that reconnects. And one of her books is titled Active Hope, where she offers wisdom for how to face our world with resilience and creativity. She encourages us to recognize our pain for the world while cultivating gratitude and finding our unique roles in a collective transition to a more life-affirming and sustainable society. Joanna refers to this time in our human history as the Great Turning. Put simply, her training framework to cultivate active hope within us includes waking up to the beauty of life and acting on its behalf, identifying what we hope for, taking action towards those hopes regardless of the perceived likelihood of success, sort of like when I started walking mountains, and remembering we are part of a larger interconnected web of life, and that our actions do indeed have ripple effects. Joanna's Act of Hope offers us a path to navigate these challenging times with greater courage, creativity, and connection, empowering us to become active agents of positive change. And all of this sounds a lot like the educational work of our tadpoles, doesn't it? Joanna's most recent book with co-author psychologist Anita Barrows is a translation of Rainer Maria Rilke's collection of poems called The Book of Hours, which he wrote in the early 1900s in Germany. And here's a very short poem from the book. Earth, isn't this what you want? To arise in us, invisible. Is it not your dream to enter us so wholly there is nothing left outside us to see? What, if not transformation, is your deepest purpose? Earth, isn't this what you want? To arise in us, invisible. Is it not your dream to enter us so wholly there's nothing left outside us to see? What, if not transformation, is your deepest purpose? So, to our 4 tadpoles, Taylor, Ania, David, and Savannah, we set you forth into the beautiful world with your well-earned master's degrees to continue your learning, transforming, and making the world a better place for all, including our dear friends Frog and Toad, who continue to remind us to be caring and sensitive, to nurture these aspects of our humanity, and to experience the joy in nature and the simple moments in life. Congratulations to this year's 2025 graduating class of Foley Graduate Fellows. Okay, and now I'll hand it over to Chris and Annie, I believe.
Close to it? Okay. I am a soft talker. I've been told I'm a soft talker. Good evening. For those who I haven't met yet tonight, I'm Chris Cohen, and I have the incredible privilege of serving as the Director of Youth and Graduate Programs here at Walking Mountains. I'm joined by Annie Henderson, our Graduate Program Manager, and together we are honored to celebrate and recognize the remarkable Foley Graduate Fellowship Class of 2025. Before we begin awarding diplomas, I also have some expressions of heartfelt gratitude. First, to my amazing Youth and Graduate Programs leadership team, Dustin, Cassie Jo, Annie, and Aaron. Your unwavering support, creativity, and collaborative spirit have made this program what it is today. Your willingness to listen, adapt, and innovate based on feedback has elevated the experience for everyone involved. I truly could not do this work without you. And tonight's celebration would not be possible without your collective efforts. I'd like to extend a sincere thank you to our UNC faculty partners, Susan Keenan, Byron Straw, and Jennifer Parrish. Jennifer, thank you for joining us tonight. Your continued partnership and support have been vital to the growth and success of this program, and we are deeply appreciative. This evening's celebration would not have been possible without the support of many dedicated individuals. To the entire Youth and Graduate Programs team, and a special shout out to Laura. Thank you for all of your setup, catering, all the behind-the-scenes logistics tonight. Thank you. It would not have happened without you. Thank you, Paul, for your AV expertise. A big thank you to Markian and our development team for your continued support of the Foley Graduate Fellowship. A quick thank you to our first-year fellow, Justin, who's capturing the moments tonight so that I don't have to be in 3 places at once. Usually I'm behind the camera to where I'm most comfortable. and to High Five Access Media for capturing this moment so that family and friends who couldn't be here can still take part. And of course, to Dr. Kim Langmaid, our wonderful graduation speaker, thank you for sharing your wisdom and experience with us. Finally, and most importantly, to our graduating cohort, the Tadpoles. You have had the unique distinction of being my very first class as Youth and Graduate Programs Director. And you were also lucky enough to have me as your instructor for all of your in-person coursework. I am sure that after 2 years and 3 months, you have learned all that you can from me and are probably pretty sick of me. But for me, each cohort, and yours in particular, has taught me incredible lessons. Every cohort wonders, and you all asked, how they compare to those who came before. What stands out about this group is your genuine friendship and deep willingness to learn from one another. That openness, more than anything, has shaped your journey and has solidified for me that the fellowship pond, not the pond table, truly is a place where metamorphosis can happen. You began the program as eager tadpoles, curious, committed, and ready to grow. As you learned together, you began to sprout tails, finding your voices, shaping your teaching identities, and exploring passions from early childhood to culturally relevant pedagogy to alumni relations. You took on action research like legs and arms, gaining strength and perspective with every tentative hop. And now today, you stand before us as proud, full-fledged frogs, ready to leap into the world and bring inspiration and magic into the lives of every student you meet. It has been an absolute honor to support you through every stage of your transformation. Through learning, laughter, and of course a few tears. Taylor. It's now time for us to honor your accomplishments. As we call your name, please come forward to receive your diploma and some gifts. You're welcome to share a few words if you'd like. David, you're up first.
All right. Do a few words or diploma first? What? Diploma first or say words. Okay. So we're going to adjust that. Okay. How's it going, everybody? Oh, cool. That works a lot better. How's it going, everybody? We Tadpoles have something planned, but I think maybe we'll save that for the end if we have gifts to go out. Or now? Now? Okay. We have prepared a little something to thank the youth programs leadership staff. So without further ado, I would like to invite Ania and Taylor and Savannah up here. All right. Okay. So we prepared a little poem, just kind of shouting out the virtues of each of the YP leadership team. Each of us are going to read for a different person. I will be reading for Dustin, our wonderful school programs manager. Senior school programs manager. Here we go. Ahem. Dustin. He's a Virgo by sign, but with a calendar tight. But his brain, that's a fireworks show every night. 1,000 tabs open in Chrome and in Mind. Yet somehow he's thoughtful, supportive, and kind. He hustles, he juggles, he does it with flair. With a child gate guarding the lair. Or is it to herd his educator crew, who bounce like electrons? Yeah, that tracks too. Need to fix the printer? Or be a gnome for your game? Ask and he's there, never seeking a claim. Not enough teachers, he'll jump in the fray. Snowplow advice, he's got thoughts right away. In the pod, he's a riot, sarcasm in tow. His quips keep us laughing, his sass steals the show. But deep down beneath that dry comic tone is someone who sees you and won't let you go alone. He listens, adapts, and makes space to explore. He helps shape our ideas and then gives us some more. He teaches, he mentors, he walks in our shoes, knows how to pivot, and help us all cruise. So here's to Dustin, with tabs galore, a mentor, a teammate we deeply adore, a teacher, a gnome, a sarcastic delight, who shows up for others and always shines bright. Thank you, Dustin.
I will be reading for Cassie Jo, our senior summer programs manager. Yes, I will do my best. All right. They walk with the trees in a calm, rooted grace, with fairy dust trailing her soft, sacred space. A deadhead with heart and a soul full of song, she blends art with earth, where both truly belong. She crafts camps with color, intention, and care, leads pride in the mountains where joy fills the air. They listen with patience, their silence a guide, holds you with a presence that steadies the tide. A mentor, a friend who somehow just knows when you need a pep talk or need to let go. But don't let the softness make you forget. She's got big dog energy, a certified threat. They've shown us the way to bring all that we are, the painter, the thinker, a bright guiding star. They honor the land and the wisdom it keeps, while inviting our souls to look inward, go deep. Intersectional as fuck. Sorry, y'all, there's no better phrase. She moves through injustice and lights up the maze. She speaks when it counts and always for truth, the voice of the silence, the guide for the youth. Cassie Jo, you're a fairy, a fire, and a friend, a whisper that strengthens, a hand you can lend. You showed us that balance is more than a dream. It's art, it's resistance, it's holding the team. Thank you, Cassie Jo.
Annie. All right, can y'all hear me? What about now? All right. Big brain on campus. She sees through the haze, asks why and what if in 100 bright ways. She doesn't demand, she gently unknots with questions that shimmer like well-placed thoughts. She strolls through campus with thoughts on a breeze, turning tangles to clarity with practiced ease. Her brainstorms are gold, her edits are fire. Her presence alone lifts your thinking up higher. Stuck in your thesis, she's ready to roam with snacks from Yeti and wisdom from home. You're spiraling fast, she won't let it last. Suggests a hike break so the pressure can pass. Aggie's floofy pants prance as she leads the way, her pups more prepared for adventures than we are most days. And Annie, oh Annie, with papers piled high, drops new articles so often we sometimes just sigh. Annie, you've taught us to think, breathe, and climb, and how just the right question can change space and time.
Okay, last but not least, we have Chris. And I just wanted to say a little shout out to Jamie. She is our inspo for our poems tonight. She used to do a poem for the graduate fellows every year. So this is also an ode to Jamie. Chris wears 2 titles, but juggles far more. Director of Youth and of Grad at the core. Our teacher, our boss, the rock we depend. She steadies the storm from beginning to end. Calm and collected, cool to the touch. She works behind scenes and she does so much. 3 jobs, no sweat. She still makes time to hear all the tea and the gossip in rhyme. She feeds us with love from snacks to full meals. Shows up with drinkies, asks how it feels. Late nights, long days, she's always there. holding the space with deep-rooted care. She built this mountain from base to the skies, with chocolate in hand and her vision-wise eyes. Overalls on and a camera too, she captures the world from a beautiful view. Chris lets us vent, no judgment in sight. She listens with patience late into the night. She centers our voices, our thoughts, and our fears, then helps us reshape them with wisdom and years. She's the Capricorn Queen, a true behind-the-scenes star, making magic no matter how messy things are. We learn from her balance, her hustle, her grace. This whole fellowship bears her trace. So here's to Chris, who held us so well. The roots of this program, the voice in the shell. For all that you gave and the love you provide, we thank you, dear Chris, with mountain-sized pride. Thanks, Chris.
And now back to our regular scheduled programming. All right, everybody. Something that I knew would happen here was how fast that this experience would go by. And I feel like I've really made the most of the experience. I have no regrets. I have seized every opportunity I possibly could. I think I knew I would become a better educator in this program. I did not realize how much I would grow as a person. And I think, as we just highlighted, it's really the people here at Walking Mountains that have helped me grow. I think that the best thank yous are simple but direct, simple but very firm. So I want to give a shout out, of course, to the people we just mentioned, to Dustin, to Chris, to Annie, to Cassie Jo for always being there for us, to the behind the scenes folks as well. Laura does a lot behind the scenes to keep this place running. Kim, thank you for founding this place. That was pretty great. To all the fellows out there, thank you for struggling through the program with me. You all have just pushed me to become a better person each and every day, and I can't thank you all enough for it. To my parents for raising me, I really appreciate that. To my partner, Anna, for always being there for me and supporting me these past few months when I've really been pushing towards the end. You've always been there, so thank you. I want to thank Larry and Lauren, too. These little... They're in there somewhere. My little stuffed lobsters, I carry them around. Sorry, I have a lot more stuff in my pockets than I realized. But these two have been there a lot with me. It's been pretty great. Thank you for Brian. We're going to bike across the country together. It's going to be pretty cool. Fellows, you will expect a postcard from me when I pass through your home state. Should be a good time. And there's one more entity who's always been there for me 24/7, rain or shine, when I really needed to pick me up, and that would be the Avon 7-Eleven. So thank you for always being there with a Slurpee. And thank you, everybody out here. Again, whoever I've interacted with in the past 2.5 years have really just pushed me to become the best version of myself I can possibly be. And I would not be here without every single person who's worked at Walking Mountain since May of 2023. So thank you all. And I'm going to pass it on to Ania. Diploma first.
All right. Hello, everybody. All right. I remember sitting here 2 years ago, fresh off my first whirlwind summer at Walking Mountains, watching all the graduates and feeling so proud and emotional, thinking that's going to be me one day. Now, standing here at the end of my journey, it feels surreal. It's like reaching the top of a mountain and looking out at the view. Not just at the beauty in front of me, but everything behind me too. The magic, the mess, the sweat, the failures, and the trying again. Walking Mountains didn't just nurture our growth, it demanded it. Our transformation was by design, but like the tadpole's joke, we didn't just metamorphosize into frogs, we grew wings too. And with these wings came the confidence, perspective, and strength we didn't know we were capable of. What makes it all worth it is the belief that I've gained in myself to do hard things. making a difference for our planet and for our kids isn't easy, but it's work I'm honored to and take privilege in pursuing. I'm so grateful to everyone who supported me along this climb, friends, family, mentors, all of you here today, but I'd like to give a few special shout outs. Of course, to the Tads, thank you for your encouragement, the magic, the validation, and the much needed commiseration that helped carry me through our shared metamorphosis. I'm so grateful that we ended up in the same pond, and I'm so proud of where our wings are taking us next. To Petrichor, thank you for never letting a day go by without reminding us all to release our inhibitions and feel the rain on our skin. I love you all dearly. To my friends and my family, thank you for grounding me with your joy, your laughter, your love, and for reminding me that there's still life beyond this little bubble. When the world feels like it's always moving too fast, I'm grateful to know I'll always have hands to hold and hearts to come home to. And last but not least, to my beautiful and incredible partner, Carly. Sorry to use your government name, baby. Thank you for keeping me a sane, functioning human throughout this entire journey. I share this degree with you because, let's be real, we both put in some work to get here. From packed lunches to cry vent sessions, laundry loads to regulating hugs, you've held it all with grace, patience, and so much love. You remind me every day that I'm capable of anything I set my mind to, but having someone who never lets me do it alone is the real dream come true. As we step forward from this summit, I hope we carry with us the courage to face new challenges, the resilience to keep trying, and the joy in knowing that every step, no matter how hard, brings us closer to the view that we're meant to see. Thank you.
So many things. All right, Taylor, you're up next.
I'm not going to cry. Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for being here tonight. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Taylor, but on the streets they call me Tater Tot. And I've been a part of the Walking Mountains community for the past 4 years. And as I reflect on this journey, one word rises above the rest: gratitude. I invite you all to take a moment with me, just a breath, to feel gratitude. For the families who have supported us, for the rustling of aspen leaves, for the land that provides food, water, and life itself. There's a fly on my pinky. Robin Wall Kimmerer, a writer and ecologist, teaches us that gratitude is the thread we can hold on to through hardship and celebration. It's the foundation not just for joy, but for action. And action has certainly been required of us. Balancing a full-time work and graduate school has been no small task, but gratitude is what kept me grounded. It reminded me why I choose this path and why I keep going. So tonight I stand here with the same gratitude, and I want to share it with you all. To my father, thank you for sparking my love for the outdoors and for showing me a deep and constant well of love and support. To my brother and cousins, thank you for being my built-in adventure buddies and partners in curiosity. To my partner, Justice, thank you for being my rock, always willing to pause for a flower or identify a bug, or reminding me to breathe when life gets turbulent. Your steadiness and encouragement means everything. To my family, thank you for traveling near and far to be here tonight and cheering me on every step of the way. To the people of To the people of Walking Mountains, past and present, thank you for building a place where mission and meaning walk hand in hand. You have made this place feel like a home. And to this land, thank you for sandstone and serviceberry, for blue spruce and rushing river, for buzzing bugs and singing birds, for the blooms after long winters and powdery snow that reminds us how to float. With my feet on this ground, I'm not wearing shoes, and with my heart wide open, all I can say is thank you. This place, these people, and this journey have shaped me. They've reminded me that growth is not always comfortable, but is always possible. When I first read this job description 4 years ago, it sounded too good to be true. And I was right, because it turned out to be even better. This place is magic. And now, with gratitude in my bones and hope in my heart, I'm ready to carry that magic forward. Thank you, and yeehaw.
Last but not least, Savannah.
All right. After our action research presentations were done a couple months ago, we sat down with Kim over sushi, and she wanted to get to know the Tads a little bit before she gave a speech about us. And she gave each of us a book from her personal library that reminded her of our research and our personal interests. I was gifted a book called The Art of the Interesting, in which a philosopher and researcher, Lorraine Besser, argues that the good life contains not just meaning and happiness, but also contains the interesting. Or more specifically, because what is your interesting is whatever it's unique to you. It might be sports teams, fairy gardens, fashion, traveling to faraway places, reading a spooky story, photographing people in everyday life, playing Minecraft, or maybe building houses. The interesting brings psychological richness to your life. It is any experience that engages and excites our minds. One could argue fostering moments of wonder and question-filled curiosities during outdoor exploration promotes the interesting for those that find joy in natural places. A little ode to my research. As I reflected on this book, I thought about if my good life contained the interesting, and I realized without a doubt that it did. This place, humans and non-humans alike, the people you see in front of you here, the people that are scattered throughout the audience today, have been my interesting. Each of them have challenged, engaged, and sometimes, yes, made me wonder what the heck was going on in their minds. Tads specifically have brought the interesting each and every day. I found it planning magical mountain pride events within Nia, also known as Nini or Miss Nee to the forgetful kindergartner, frolicking in mountain meadows with her and on beautiful drives up secret mountain roads. I found it in being convinced quite easily to get my first tattoo on Friday the 13th. I found it watching her sprinkle her magic teaching dust on the chaos of the littles during so many programs. I found it interesting on my first summer camp teaching with Taylor, where we hiked past Gypsum Rock on the overlook, the trail right up here, and she had first graders dip their fingers in the powder of the gypsum rock and paint swirls on their arms as she shared how it was special to this place. I found it on a long car ride filled with games of 20 questions with Taylor that ended with us pondering, why humans don't drink whale milk if whales make so much whale milk. I found it dancing on the Chasing Rabbits dance floor or at Taylor's favorite EDM artist concert. And if anyone knows how to keep things interesting, it's David. I found the interesting with him as I was convinced to wake up in the dark in hopes of catching the sunrise above the tree line on Mount Massive, or biking up to Wild Ridge for a breakfast reward at the top with Ryan, or engaging in a conversation at the breakfast table about my thoughts on the political state of the country when I had only been awake for 5 minutes. Thank you, Tads, for filling my every moment with interesting these past 2.5 years. Thank you, Petrichor, for all that you are. Silly, supportive, mermaids, and some of my very best friends. Thank you to the wild of this place for welcoming me in with all your interesting. Goodbye to Tim Tam the squirrel, who lives under the blue spruce on the nature loop. Goodbye to the Rocky Mountain snails that hide in every crevice of our trails. Goodbye for now to the willows that hug our pond and the creek that rocks me to sleep with her babbles at night. Thank you for becoming my home and my family.
All right, so before we close, if you haven't figured it out yet, there is a tradition that we would like to carry forward from past graduations. Our former graduate program director, Jamie Squires, thank you for being here tonight, began the custom of writing a poem for each graduating class, a gesture that is part toast and definitely part roast, and always filled with love. We're keeping that tradition alive tonight with one small twist. This year's poem was a team effort, crafted collaboratively by the Youth and Graduate Programs leadership team, along with the Tadpoles mentees, our Petrichor cohort. We offer it to you with the usual disclaimer: we are educators, not poets. Except for Cassie Jo, she's a published poet. But what we lack in meter, we make up for in meaning. Our poem this year is simply titled, The Tads. The Tads. From the very beginning, the tadpoles were swimming, small in a fairly large pond. With questions and quirks and late-night homework of science, they'd quickly grow fond. They lingered, they laughed, they rarely moved fast. But their friendship was steady and true, and somehow through time, in chaos and slime, their little legs steadily grew. A master's degree is the prize that you see, hard-earned through each paper and class. Through long nights of doubt and moments worn out, the tears always managed to pass. Homework late again? They kept asking when. Extensions became quite the trend. But with grit and with grace, they found their own pace and made it all work in the end. They traipsed and hiked, they ran and biked, they lounged at Nottingham's shore. With snacks in hand, they took a stand for science, justice, and more. They grew fairy wings and dreamed of bold things, transformed by the light of the moon. From tadpoles to frogs, they quickly evolved, now masters, aware and in tune.
Pisces sun, Sagittarius moon, lover of snackies like a raccoon. Ania steps onto the scene. She's got a tarot deck on her, and what an honor to get a reading from this astrology queen. Her childlike wonder is sunshine in summer, though fall might be more of her thing. Una amiga de la noche. In spookiness, she slays. This girl is a fiend for Halloween. But no matter the season, there's always a reason. for iced coffee in a tall cup. Ania keeps her cool, but don't be a fool. Social injustices get her fired up. And thank God for Carly. Where's Carly? Thank God for Carly, because Ania's mood gets gnarly if she doesn't eat a balanced meal. Carly packs Ania's lunches to go, all food groups in tow. Y'all's love is the real deal. But no matter... Oh, I already read that one. There's mountain time, and then there's Ania time. Which takes being late to the next level. Rolls up in her ferry car, parks top lot like a VIP star. Unfazed by warnings, 'cause she a rebel. Long hair don't care, a cute dress she wears, and her earrings always match her fit. Eccentric in style, nature's wild child. She's got fashion and she's got grit. She's not worried and is never hurried because she knows she creates the vibe. Tiny humans arrive with needs and cries. The remedy? Lo-fi playlist prescribed. No need for a plan with YouTube on hand. She just Googles magic frog drinking tea. A witch casting a spell, the children she quells. Classroom ambiance is her decree. All joking aside. Oh no. I've been waiting for this moment. We have so much pride in this skilled childhood educator. We'll miss your giggle, your love for the littles, but the universe has plans greater. You'll make magic anywhere, from nature schools to daycares. They'll all be lucky to have you. Wishing you inclusive spaces, connection to places, and to never put on another snowshoe.
That David Geddes stare turned out unaware, his expression so deep, so vast. Brown eyes wide, head knocked to the side. What thoughts has our dear David cast? Ocean liners drifting slow, SpongeBob singing down below, gamified learning or Russian punk. Shanties of the sea, a historic figure on a teaching spree, or eating ground beef by the hunk. Ka-chow. Look at him now. He's back. He's going all out. His lungs bursting full with a big breath pull. He releases his good morning shout. Intensity, high volume, a theatrical pause are all hallmarks of a David Geddes cause. Everyone is captivated. His wool pants 60 years outdated. And what are those? Lobster claws? Larry and Lauren, his dearest colleagues, wait in his pockets, their identities up for debate. Can you tell them apart? He could from the start. Sweet symbols of his dear home state. Massachusetts, he declares with a proud, nostalgic smile, his adoration spanning time and a mile. He swears it's the best, mass-hole pride beaming from his chest, and he will go on for quite a while. From the very beginning, he washed without winning, just hand soap and a splash would suffice. But the girls took note, and to David they spoke, your face needs some serum, maybe twice. With some help from YouTube, David's confidence grew as toners and lotions began to spew. And day after day, the dullness gave away, and some say his healthy skin steadily grew. Since his grand introduction, he rushed with conviction on bike paths and slopes icy blue. With no time to spare, he'd race anywhere. Screen doors and warnings he'd skew. He darted, he dashed, through mountains he crashed, yet smiled as the chaos unfurled.
Fueled by the thrill, David raced every hill, and even after 11 hot dogs, he never hurled. Way to go, David.
Miss Peely and Banana, wearing a bandana, always a little bit late. When things looked bleak, Peely played hide and seek. Savannah left it up to fate. With excitement and wonder, Tech stealing her thunder. What even is wonderment? Her attention to small, giving it her all, showed the kids her love for the environment. To know what she ate, you won't have to debate. Just look at her outfit. Starts the day off with eggs to fuel her strong legs, only outpaced by her quick wit. When it comes to Bring Joe, she and David are foes, but skip it and she'll be shook. And at any time of day, don't get in her way when she goes to open her Tillamook. Was she gone too long? A half marathon? That wasn't part of the plan. But adventures extraneous, planned or spontaneous, Savannah says, yes, I can. And for that we're grateful. She gets rather hateful if exercise time should fall through. She can be quite persuasive. The plea is pervasive. Come on, you should come too. From the very beginning, Savannah was grinning, with birdwatching gear at her side. With binoculars raised and her heart quite amazed, she'd watch as sparrows would glide. She learned, she observed, with patience reserved, as basil sprouted so sweet. Those tender green stems, like little new friends, would grow where soil and sun meet. Annie's bookshelf is empty. Savannah borrowed 1 or 20 after a day with Agnes. Back she will get them. The dress made of denim, that one is anyone's guess. It all pays off in class, where ideas amass. We all love her thoughtful expression. Is she cool? Is she smart? Does she bring strength and heart? That isn't even a question.
What is that faint thrum? Bass and drums. This grad's taste in music mirrors her heart. Enter EDM queen Taylor to the scene. Her love for Odessa clear from the start. It's not worth deeming if she's crying, laughing, or screaming. These often collide. It could be her low-key rage that brought her on stage to dance with DJ at Pride. Avoid a paper, become a video creator. First up, Markian's interview over Snack Spicy. Taylor is free-spirited, okay? This isn't where we'll stop today. What follows, an official decree. Walking Mountains certified, passionate, and organized. After this poem, you'll see. And just for a little fun, we'll throw in some jargon. Taylor is our resident expert on Gen Z. Example 1 is her Google Calendar. In a cohort of procrastinators, Taylor doesn't fall prey. Always prepped 2 weeks ahead and right on shed. Your bestie come doomsday. At a fast clip, running a tight ship, her organizational skills are snatched. If you live in Pete, don't admit defeat. Notes and short charts will be dispatched. Example 2 is Taylor's side quest, you may have guessed, to define the word empowered. Reasoning sometimes sus. There was so much to discuss. Endless research papers devoured. It took serious grit, and the final product hits. Students learn how to think, not what. This is her real passion. A just climate future she'll fashion. Leadership starts with a clean hut. Last but not least, in this honey roast feast, the tadpoles claim Taylor as their glue. a curator of magical moments down to every component, powered by her matcha potion brew. Her power is equal parts mystical and logistical. We'd say it's giving Hermione Granger. Stop milking our housing. To the beach before job browsing. Taylor, don't be a stranger.
And so they found their way, turned science to play, with games that got students to think, asked questions out loud, stood curious and proud, pushed learning right to the brink. They helped kids make movies to show what they knew and guided them gently to see that nature is part of the mind and the heart, and learning can set it all free. They learned from the land, tackled the issues at hand as mentors and teachers and friends. Complaining aside, they chose not to hide and worked hard right up to the end. They shifted and grew, shed old skins for new. And they never once did it alone. 2 years in the stream, now chasing their dreams in classrooms and wilds unknown. So now as they hop to their next thrilling stop, may they leap with intention and grace, with glitter and grit and humor and wit, and their light still alive in this place. Here's to the tadpoles, now frogs on the move, with hearts open wide for what's next, or new. Oh. Their journey continues with courage and joy, bringing magic in all that they do. So our next thing is to please join us after the ceremony on the patio for dessert and a toast. And with that, we are proud to officially recognize our tadpoles as graduates of the Foley Graduate Fellowship. Congratulations.